Thanks so much for checking out Tea and a Buddy on YouTube. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello and welcome back to Tea and a Buddy. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, following on from the last, we're going to be talking about school lunches. Yeah. School lunches.
So part 2 in our school
Part 2.
series.
And this is going to be about all school lunches throughout the, not just elementary or...
Right, yeah.
It's going to be talking about secondary school, because I don't think it really differed. It really matters much, or it differed
No, I don't
too
think
much.
So. No.
I mean, between countries it differed, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, because
we maybe should have had Addison back for this one.
Yeah, well, we just got the menu the other night, didn't
yeah.
we?
She was telling us her...
She told us our menu, and we were just surprised to learn that chicken tikka masala was on the menu.
Yeah.
Chicken tikka masala.
That really shows how big Indian food is becoming, or has become over here in America. Because did you have chicken tikka masala on your school lunch menu?
No.
No? That's so funny. We definitely didn't.
I don't even know if we have it now. Actually, it's in primary school definitely, but maybe in secondary school, I don't know. I don't know, but I remember the quality of school lunches in Britain when I was a kid wasn't very great. It was all done by outside caterers, and I just remember it not being so great. You'd think back in the 50s and stuff, and the 60s with with the rationing and everything like that, it was kind of austere. But since the 1980s, it went downhill because it was just more concerned with making a profit.
Yeah.
And, salt and fat and everything. Turkey Twizzlers. Jamie Oliver.
Turkey Twizzlers.
Jamie Oliver.
Sounds disgusting.
Turkey dinosaurs or chicken dinosaurs or whatever.
Okay.
They're kind of like
chicken
that.
Nuggets.
Chicken nuggets, yeah. It kind of became like that. Chicken nuggets and chips.
Why were they called Twizzlers, though?
Because they were kind of like a Twizzler shape.
They were twirly?
Yeah, they kind of were. I'd have to look one up and see.
Turkey?
Oh, they were turkey, yeah. Bernard Matthews probably provided them.
That's so gross.
But when I was a kid, I remember I was a very picky eater as a kid. I was very, very picky. I would only eat meat. That was all I would eat, really. Yeah. Something that looked like meat. So in Cockington, I remember
something that looked like
I'd only get double spam, and it would be spam.
Oh God.
And spam, and because they wouldn't serve chips or anything like that, or they didn't, so I couldn't have chips with it, which is French fries for everyone who wants to know. And they'd make me eat I remember being forced to eat mashed potato by a dinner lady. I guess my parents or the school had noticed my eating habit and was like, he's got to get more veg, he's got to have more potato, and he's got to have more peas, and he's got to have more greens in him.
Yeah.
So I remember a dinner lady with
that's good though.
Those clear gloves, trying to force me to eat. Sat next to me, forcing me to eat mashed potato, and I was just like, whoa, because I wouldn't even eat mashed potato as a kid. I remember she was like, oh, he's going to be sick. Oh, no, because I would just be like, oh, I don't want it. I don't like it,
That's really good, though, that they were paying that close of attention. Because, yeah.
It wasn't very good when they were forcing it in your mouth with the freaking clear thing, grabbing your head from the back and force-feeding you. It was a terrible time. It's like a concentration camp.
Kids do need to get nutrition, you need to have a balanced diet.
Yeah, my diet was not balanced.
And they have no idea what's going on at home, if you're getting nutrition at home or not. So it's like they sort of do have a responsibility to make sure that you're getting enough nutrition at school,
I was a very picky eater. Sometimes I wouldn't even eat a hamburger, I'm going to go back to that famous story of playing at my friend's house birthday and not refusing a hamburger, But yeah, it was like spam, it was mashed potato, it was roast potato, it was peas and carrots, Brussels sprouts. I remember that sort of thing. Then I decided, I'm just going to start taking a packed lunch.
Oh, yeah.
Which I did then, and that would usually be a sandwich, which was made of like chicken roll, we called it, which is like chicken lunch meat. Mm-hmm. Chicken lunch meat sandwich, 2 slices of bread, an apple, and a Club chocolate bar biscuit. Whoever remembers Club.
Yeah. That
brand of biscuit. And usually a drink would be like Capri Sun or something like that, a pouch drink. Yeah. Or a Kia Ora or a Ribena. Usually it was Ribena.
I had...
in a carton.
When I was in elementary school, I think I took my lunch most of the time, a lot of the time. I wanted to eat at school.
Very beginning, I was getting school dinners, but then I started taking lunch. Yeah, sorry.
I wanted to eat at school, but for whatever reason, I took my lunch most of the time. And I remember I had a little plastic California raisins lunchbox. The California raisins. I was so into that. Like, I heard it through the grapevine. I was like on the commercials when I was a kid. Again, I'm dating myself. I had that, and I had a New Kids on the Block lunchbox one year, and that was like, oh, that was like my ultimate, because, oh my God, I was completely obsessed with New Kids on the Block. And I don't know if you did you have a lunchbox as well?
It was a plastic one. It looked like a little mini briefcase with a bit of...
And it has a little, like, click, it would click closed at the top and had a little plastic handle. And did it have a thermos inside as well?
Yes. Yeah, mine had a thermos.
So then the cup comes off, the top, and you could pour your drink. But if I took a sandwich or something like that to school, inevitably my Kool-Aid or whatever was in my thermos would leak, and my thing would be all soggy. Everything would be soggy and disgusting.
I never had that problem. I don't think I ever had a spillage. What I'd always have was the soggy sandwich because the drink was cold or whatever, and it would like sweat a bit in there. Yeah. Especially in summer.
I mean, my mom would put it in like a baggie, like a lunch, like a little clear plastic.
Mine was like in the cling film.
Sandwich bag or whatever they're called. Like a Ziploc bag, only didn't zip,
Break time, I'd have like a packet of crisps. Oh yeah, I'd have a packet of crisps too, which was like usually Discos or Monster Munch or something.
I'd always have like a fruit roll up for my like little treat that was in there. But I would have a sandwich, I would have a fruit roll up. I don't remember if I had chips or not. I must have had like a little bag of chips, but this is a long time ago, guys. I can't really remember.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my lunchbox having stickers on it, and I think it was a Ninja Turtle lunchbox. It was blue, I remember that. But I remember maybe it was a Ghostbusters one. I remember that I just covered it in like stickers. I remember covering it in stickers. Maybe I remember maybe having a Fireman Sam lunchbox at one point. That was a kid show in the 90s. Well, it still is a kid show, but it's gone all the way of CGI now.
So I'd take a ham and cheese sandwich or probably peanut butter and jelly. But I can remember vaguely, like, I can't remember how old I was, but the first time I bought my lunch at school, and I was kind of like terrified because I had no idea what to do. I didn't know what to do at all because I usually took my lunch. And so I was just like, okay, and in line, and like watching everybody and everything. It's like, okay, you just push your tray past and you point to whatever you want, and they kind of.
That's what I did too.
And they put it on your thing and they give it to you on your tray, and then you're like this with your heavy tray. And I remember, getting the little cartons of milk. Like I always wanted I always got a chocolate milk. I never got a regular.
I didn't have to take fluoride tablets in one of my elementary schools with milk. I remember that.
What?
Yeah, it was like fluoride. So I don't know why. It was just because maybe the water wasn't fluoridated enough up there. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we used to, and we had a carton milk with a straw and stuff. But that was like a break time snack or something. That was. So.
Oh, I don't remember having a snack at school. Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I just remember it was milk and fluoride tablets. I remember, they used to give them out at, like, sweets.
Because I don't think you guys have put fluoride in your water in Britain.
Well, that was in Scotland. I never got that anywhere else. That was that was in the Isle of Arran. And anyone who happened to go to school in the early 90s, Whiting Bay Primary, will remember, and is happening to listen to this, will go, yes, I remember that.
Now.
Well, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the fluoride tablets. What are you talking about, eh?
But I can remember, like, and I think maybe now it's still a stereotype that school lunch is really disgusting. And it's never been my experience that it's been disgusting. It was like maybe bland at most, but not like just gross. I mean, I can never remember eating anything that was just like, oh God, this is sick, you know. I do remember the mashed potatoes weren't very like appetizing looking because they would do it with an ice cream scoop.
Yeah, because they made a huge vat of them. So.
And it was just like really, really, it was like powdered mashed potatoes. So there was no like actual chunks of potato in it or whatever. So it was totally just smooth. And so they just scoop it with the ice cream scoop and it would just be a lump there. I remember it didn't look appetizing, but it tasted okay, you know.
Into secondary school, I never got school lunches. I never went and bought anything from the school canteen at all. I just remember it all looked like crap to me. It all looked awful. And you know what put me off? It was when someone came out with like the chips. Yeah. Because they serve chips all the time. This is Wales, you know. It was like, you know, if you did had a school canteen that didn't serve chips, you were in trouble. But these chips were just like, they looked terrible. They were all pale yellow. Like barely cooked. Yeah. I think I had one once and I was just like, these are awful. Oh God, you know. Much better down the chippy, you know.
I think, but like, yeah. Can you remember how much it cost, school lunch?
It was about a couple of quid.
Yeah. That's about how much it was here too. And that's a pretty good deal because you got quite a bit of food in the school cafeteria.
I remember when I'd sit and have lunch with my friends, you know, who'd get it, you know. Mm. And, you know, yeah, they would be a couple of quid. They'd have like a lasagna. Lasagna and chips was one they'd serve. Yeah, that's another thing, you know, lasagna and chips. And it was just... And I vaguely remember a pizza, but it was like square maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember what was on the menu, really.
Yeah.
Kind of rotated every day, you know.
Yeah, it was something different. There would be like, I think like at least two options, like 2 or 3 different options. I seem to remember, and then it would be like a main thing, and then you'd have a few options as sides, and then I think maybe you could get like a roll or some kind of bread, like a slice of bread or a roll or something, and then milk or water. I don't remember there being
glasses. There was either glasses of water. There was like these like aluminium style pitchers, jugs on the table. Yeah. And they were either filled with water and you could get them in like a cup, or they were filled with like squash. Oh yeah. Really, really watered down squash. They'd like put that much squash in it, you know. Oh yeah. Squash is like a concentrate of like orange or whatever, you know.
It's not like
it's not like the
liquid zucchini.
It's not liquid zucchini. No, it's not that. It's like a fruit concentrate, you know, that you have to dilute and drink. Mm-hmm. And that's what they call it, squash in Britain. Yeah. Orange squash. But
God, that seems a bit like fun though and nice. Like I can't remember what other options we had besides just a little like carton of milk, and you'd open it up and like put a straw in it.
They had milk, but I remember they had glasses of pre-made, and some you could like pour from a pitcher. Yeah, but I remember I never really used to partake in it. I used to always just kind of like either bring my lunch or go out and eat, which was like, you know.
Yeah, well, you didn't have that option in elementary school.
In elementary school, no. I just brought my lunch, and it was usually a chicken sandwich or a chicken roll.
I can't remember. I think middle school here was about the same kind of stuff. I mean, you mentioned lasagna. I think there was probably lasagna sometimes, probably pizza.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken patties or something like that. Yeah. I seem to remember like Salisbury steak a lot of the time. Yeah. And maybe even meatloaf. I know.
Yeah, like, we never had meatloaf in Britain.
Like I mentioned before, like mystery meat would be like, oh God, don't get the school lunch. It's like mystery meat, you know. But like I said, I never had I never had anything that was like really bad. It's kind of the same thing as airplane food. I've never really had.
I
really
always enjoy airplane food
I've
too.
never had
I always
really
like it. I've
disgusting
never had a
airplane food.
disgusting one, like you said. I've never.
I can't remember if there was any like dessert or anything at school.
Yeah, there was. It was usually like a fruit cup, or it was like a slice of jelly,
Yeah.
or it was like I think you could get like a cake. It was like a sponge cake or a Victoria sponge cake,
yeah.
a little tiny thing. But usually it would come in these like little like bowls.
But at our schools, you could bring money, or you could have a lunch card, and they would just punch holes in it.
It was money usually.
Oh yeah, cash.
Yeah, cash, yeah.
Yeah. And so then, if you couldn't afford it, you were on a special program, and you'd get discounted.
Yeah.
Lunches.
I just never. I mean, I could afford it back then, but I just never did it for whatever reason.
Oh yeah.
I just never thought, it's.
Apparently, it's funny because
I thought to bring my own.
my niece's mother, my sister-in-law, was talking the other day about at their school they have a thing like a table they set aside where anybody who brings lunches, like if you didn't open it up, so a bag of chips, or if you didn't eat and your apple that you brought or whatever, you just leave it there as long as it's unopened, kind of touched, you didn't like lick it or anything, it doesn't have a bite out of it. You leave it on the table, and then anybody who maybe didn't bring money for lunch and didn't bring a lunch, can't afford a lunch, or is just still hungry, can just go over there and pick something out off the table and have it. That way they don't waste the food, which I think is great, because a lot of the kids jack around at lunchtime, don't they? You don't really eat. You're just like playing with your friends
and skylarking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I remember, how much time did you guys get for school lunches?
Well, I can't remember in elementary school. I think it was about maybe 30 minutes or an hour.
Yeah.
It's an hour. I never know. It was definitely an hour.
An hour?
It was an hour for lunch in secondary school. Definitely.
Wow. That seems really excessive.
I guess it was. I mean, we had like 2 15-minute breaks between there. We'd have like a 15-minute break time, and then one afterwards as well.
Yeah.
And then it was like the end of the lesson.
That's so funny. An hour, geez.
It was an hour.
I can remember, I can't remember.
1 till 2, I remember it.
Wow. I can't remember what grade I was in, but I remember one time, by the time I got out of this lunch line, it was a really long lunch line, or I didn't get there early or something. I was at the very end. By the time I'd gone through the lunch line and gotten out, I had 5 minutes to eat. Yeah, sometimes, I can't remember what grade that was, but sometimes in school we had hardly any time to eat. It seemed like 20 minutes maybe or something like that. It was just oh, shovel it in, get back to class, Yeah, in high school I think it was definitely longer because we went off campus. We would go off campus to go eat, but so yeah, talking about high school and secondary now. When I got to high school, and I think maybe it was sort of starting to filter into middle school, junior high. I don't really remember, but in high school, definitely I remember getting in there and wow, because there was a Pizza Hut stand. It was Pizza Hut, literal Pizza Hut, and you could go and get a slice of pizza from there, and there was also a Taco Bell stand, and you could go
that was in school.
In the school cafeteria, yeah.
No, we didn't have branding in school.
And then we had
McDonald's.
No, then we had just, I can't remember what they called the area, just outside of the cafeteria, the foyer, the break room or something. There was loads of vending machines with sodas and all kinds of candies and chips meaning crisps over here, and everything. And so in high school, my diet just totally went to the dogs because it was just I would just go get a package of Doritos and a can of soda for lunch, and that is literally what I would have for lunch until I got a bit older and me and my friends had cars and stuff, and then we would go off campus to wherever, Jack in the Box, or we had in my high school
Jack in the Box.
We called it Jack in the Crack when I was in high school.
But it's Jack in the Box, we never had that in the UK. I mean, man with a freaking head, like that. Man with a Jack in the Box head, it's like, that wouldn't be taken seriously.
You love Jack in the Box, don't even try to lie.
The sourdough club sandwich is pretty good, yes.
We had though, like, I don't know if you remember, like, in Saved by the Bell, they had a place they would hang out at lunchtime or after school or whatever, or like even farther back in Happy Days, they had Arnold, whatever. It was just like a place where everybody from that school went to. Yeah. So we had that place, and it was called Alonzo's, and we went over there a lot because you could get a cheeseburger, fries, and a drink for $2.15, and they were like really big, really delicious cheeseburgers. So that was kind of where we went a lot of the time when I was in high school.
Yeah, I mean, as you've heard me talk about that, we went to like the Chippy, and then we went to the park.
Oh,
It was usually freezing cold. Remember the Chippy that in Davin, I took you there. It had changed hands a few times since then, but it used to be like an Indian too. It used to do Indian food too.
Oh, yeah.
So you could get chicken tikka masala and chippy chips.
Oh, yeah. So really you go and get that for lunch?
Yeah, so I would, but it wasn't like an official school lunch. It was like a takeaway,
Yeah. So was everybody in secondary school allowed to leave, or was it just the older kids?
Nobody was allowed to leave. We were doing it. We weren't allowed to leave school premises at lunchtime or anything without a pass. So yeah, we were doing it illegally.
Why, I wonder?
Because, you're off site. They don't know what's happening to you,
But it's like if you have a whole hour.
You're mitching. Well, if you have a whole hour, you've got to stay on school grounds.
That's so crazy.
I mean, all the kids did it. All the kids snuck out. But now they put up a huge fence around the school.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody can get out or in.
We had times when, I don't know why, but we were switching principals at my school. I don't know what was going on. My school was crazy. But we had times where we had like a new principal or something, and I don't know what, like, I guess as a school, we'd been particularly bad for the week or something. So they'd be like, tomorrow we're locking campus and there will be no, you can't leave campus. So what they would do is they would lock the parking lots, like the little gate that closed the parking lot entries. But they would say, tomorrow we're going to have a closed campus. That's what it's called. Tomorrow we're going to have a closed campus. You cannot leave during your lunch hour or whatever. So everybody would just not park in the parking lot. They'd just park on the street then. So then it was just like, you're telling us the day before. It's not like...
See, driving, nobody drove in our school, you see, because it wasn't of age to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And we left school at 16. So, I mean, the legal age of driving is 17, so nobody owned a car and everybody walked everywhere. And, this was a small town in Wales.
Yeah. But so there wasn't somebody like at the doors, like making sure people weren't leaving at lunchtime or anything?
You could go out of the doors and stuff and you could walk around the school. And, we had a massive field at the back of our school. Mm. And so there was like a hedge lining all the way down to like a farm. There was an abattoir.
Yeah.
Which was a slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
At the other end of the track.
Appetizing.
At the other end of the track, because we had a track on that field. This is in secondary school now. But we had like a field, and then like the main road was down there, and it went into the village of Davin.
Yeah.
And, there was like a side gate you could get in and out of, but usually if there was a teacher out and they'd see you, they'd be like, where are you going? Oi, blah, 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 blah. And, you'd be left to like either run so they wouldn't see who you were, or just go, oh, I don't know, I thought, someone went out there. It's just like, make up some excuse. But I remember there was a few times I was caught. We were going down the fields, and I remember the tech teacher caught us and he was running after us. And it was a particularly wet day. And so we were running towards the thing because we thought, if he sees us, he's just going to put us in detention anyway because he knew what we were up to.
Yeah.
And he was running after us and he slipped and fell.
Yeah.
And went sliding down the hill. And so we were like running because he was kind of sliding after us. And so we just dived through the hole and just ran on. So we don't know what happened. We didn't get caught for it or anything. It was me and a couple of other kids.
He didn't know who you were.
He didn't know who we were because we could only see us from the back. So, and we all had uniforms on. So it was like, that was a benefit of uniforms. It was like, who was that? It's like, I don't know. They all look the same to me. But yeah. We were totally not allowed out.
Yeah. But you left every day?
Well, it was about year 10. I started doing that. Year 9, year 10.
And so up till then, you continued to bring your lunch?
I was bringing my lunch and just eating it in the cafeteria.
What kind of stuff would you bring, though?
Sandwich and a drink.
Yeah.
Usually a sandwich. And that was about it. Sandwich, crisps, and a drink. And it became cumbersome to put my lunchbox in my bag,
Yeah.
So I seem to remember I just gave up taking it. And then I just started getting stuff from the van. I'd be like loading up on sweets and candy. A van? No, there was a van. I remember when I had no idea about this until I moved to Wales. And I remember this kid comes up to me, he goes, "You going down the van?" Like that, break time. And I was like, no. And I didn't know what he meant by the van.
I was like, no.
And I thought it was a Welsh, because in Wales, right, they've got like pen a van. And the FAN, it's like a Welsh, and I thought it was a Welsh thing. I thought, what's down the van? I don't know. No, I'm not going down the van. The van. What's he talking about? The van. It's like everybody asked me, "Oh, I'm going down the van," and then he came back with like a panda pop, and like sweets and pick and mix and stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, where did you get that?" And he goes, "Down the van." And I was like, "What do you mean down the van? What van? Show me this van." And I remember saying it to him, show me this van. He was like, "The van out in the thing." And it was allowed on school property and parked there. And, you could go and, so that was another thing, it was like an ice cream van, but it only sold sweets and pop.
Oh.
Well, pop is what soda, in like little bottles, panda pops and stuff like that, sweets and stuff. So, and it was like chocolate, whatever. So I was like, oh, the van. And there was kids, kids round it, and it was only there for like break time. Oh. I think it was there at lunchtime, but usually, and then I started going to it then, because I knew what it was. I didn't, started loading up on sugar, basically. God. It was like pick and mix.
So you guys didn't have vending machines in your school?
Oh, no, we didn't. Oh, I can't remember if we did now or not. Don't think we did. I don't remember seeing one.
Yeah.
That was the vending machine, basically,
Yeah.
And it just sold, like, we get like a white bag full of like fried eggs, which are gummy fried eggs, and
like, ew.
strawberry laces, fizzy cola bottles, whatever you wanted, basically.
God, it's a wonder you're not a diabetic now.
Probably am, but we'll never know. And like panda pops and whatever, chocolate bars and stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to eat them all in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's
because some people would get them and just stick them in, everybody got Millions. Do you know what Millions were?
No.
They were like, you must have them over there, with like tiny little strawberry balls. And there was like thousands of them. And you got like a handful of them, and you could eat them like that, and it would just kind of turn into gum because they were all mushed together.
Oh, yeah.
They were like a gummy sweet. I don't know if they call them something different over here. But I remember kids would get that and they'd shove them in their pockets because, they couldn't eat them all. They get a huge bag of it.
And they weren't in packages or anything?
No, it was just like pick and mix
it,
and they put it in like in a paper bag like it was the 1950s, And you'd shove it in your pocket, like,
And they'd all melt together.
They wouldn't all melt together. Kids would take them out, when you want during the lesson, when you were split, and the bag would split. They go everywhere.
Were you allowed to have candy and gum and stuff in class?
No, you weren't.
Yeah,
no, that was a ban on that.
Yeah.
Instant death for anyone who had that. But yeah, you were saying, sorry, I just kind of went on a rant about the van there.
I don't know. No, I was just wondering if you had, no, I don't know. I think
you had vending machines and you had lockers and stuff. Well,
we had vending machines. We had, like I said, Pizza Hut and
Pizza
Bell.
Hut and Taco Bell. It's like, that is so crazy. In a school,
All
you
you could
you
get,
never
though.
get though. You never get that in a school.
It was just like a little booth
In Britain.
though. It's not like we actually had a Pizza Hut. You know, it would be Pizza Hut and they had the logo.
Yeah, but it was
and
like
everything.
paid for by them.
Yeah, and it was like a little booth, and they would just have like certain types of pizza, and they just
Pepperoni
cut it. Yeah,
and-
and you could
yeah.
buy it by the slice. Yeah, the Taco Bell. I don't know if I ever had that while I was in school. I cannot remember.
Taco
at
Bell is
all
gross
what they
anyway.
even
I
sold.
don't care for it that much.
Yeah, I can't remember what they even. I don't know if I ever bought that. I can't remember the Pizza Hut when I would buy all the time. But I think my mom only gave us like $2 every day for lunch, and a slice of pizza was like $1.25, and then so all you could really get was a slice and then a can of whatever, Coke or Dr. Pepper or whatever. It was just like only 50 cents at the time. I think a can has gone up now, but yeah, isn't that terrible? No, that's what I was going to say. Isn't that terrible? Like how these kind of junk food, fast food places and then like candy places, and they're just allowed to like go market to children that have money, you know? It's like
there was that
with
place.
no kind of
there was the
adult
van.
supervision except for teachers. Because where are the lunch ladies like making sure you're getting a nutritious lunch once you're already a teenager? You know, they don't care what you're eating at that point.
There was the van, and they were like an independent like ice cream van type thing that could just drive in and out, you know, and they'd just park up and stuff. I think they had to stop coming though, because I think they hiked their prices up, and I seem to remember people got irate.
Oh yeah.
The kids got irate at them and told one of the teachers, and the teachers was like, "Oh, what?" You know, they had to go down there and say what's going on, you know, and they ended up not coming back.
Yeah.
Because I think it was kind of like an unofficial deal done with the school, and you know, and all that. It wasn't like officially sanctioned.
Mm-hmm.
So then everybody started going down this shop that was right down where we used to sneak out the hole and out to Davin.
Yeah.
So people were going off premises to this like shop
Oh yeah.
that was there, and it was the same sort of thing. It was candy, and it was sweets, and it was drinks, you know.
Yeah.
You weren't getting any savory food there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that closed up and became a house. Every time I passed that after I left school, that was like gone, so I don't know what happened to it. Got sick of all the kids, I imagine, crowding it.
But anyway, yeah, I think
we've ran this into the
we've
ground.
ran that into the ground.
Talking
yeah.
about school lunches
I
and
mean-
school food.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's been a while, so I can't exactly remember everything that like you could get in the cafeteria.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't remember either. Like,
for lunch, but
jelly.
yeah, maybe. It feels very like a hospital
Blancmange.
now that
Yeah.
you're mentioning everything.
It was-
Like
it was all
you're
very-
going through a line at a hospital cafeteria. Let us know on Facebook or tweet us or on Instagram, wherever you choose. Let us know what you used to eat for lunch at school. Did you take your lunch, or did you eat in the school cafeteria? And what kinds of stuff did they have? Did they have chicken tikka masala in the school cafeteria?
Chicken tikka, mate.
I think that's so lucky. Yeah. Because that's the one thing I do remember about school lunches is that they were a bit bland. Yeah, they could have used a bit more seasoning, but kids don't like a lot of seasoning, do they?
No.
Just salt, really. So,
Just salt.
but yeah, let us know. I'm really curious what you guys ate for lunch, or if you went off campus, or where you usually went to go eat for lunch if you did get to leave.
Tell us all about it. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, so tweet us, Facebook us, Instagram us.
Do all the things.
Yeah, we're on Coffee. It's an online tipping service. So if you're finding this series or any of our podcasts useful or informative or just flat out entertaining, and you would like to donate some money to keep us going, we would appreciate that. But as always, it's never required, obviously. You can just share us with your friends and like us. Yeah, do all the things. As Dominic said. We appreciate you, and we'll talk to you next time.
We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.